Okay, well, let's go ahead and knock out our pre-takeoff checklist. Now, have you ever had a flight lesson before other than the simulator?
I have not.
You are like the poster child. I got to talk to you about a little program that's out there. I mean, we need you to join the club. Obviously, you have a very big fascination with flight, and so this is basically your first flight lesson official.
That is correct.
Which is no different than those 18-year-old kids that were coming out of high school in Salina, Kansas, the plains of Nebraska. They had never even seen an airplane up close. Because, you know, aircraft back then were still fairly new. And this is the first airplane that would have flown back then.
Wow.
But we're going to do our pre-takeoff checklist. I want you to help me do it. So go ahead and place your feet on the pedals down there and grab the stick. If you were to go to a flight school, they're going to give you a checklist. Everything you do in flying is done by use of a checklist, because the last thing you want to do is forget something. You know, if you forget to turn the fuel on, and that's actually the fuel mismanagement was the biggest #1 killer of pilots in World War II, and that was in training. That wasn't in combat. More people died in training than in combat, and the fuel mismanagement was the biggest thing.
Wow.
If you don't use a checklist, that could be bad. The Stearman goes kind of against that train of thought, because if you bring a checklist with you, let me look around the cockpit, what are you going to do with the checklist? It's going to blow out. So what we're going to do here is, instead of using a written checklist, we're going to use a mental one. We're going to use the word cigar, C-I-G-A-R, as an acronym. So every letter means something. C, that means controls. And so what I'd like you to do is kind of do what you did before. Move that stick left and right. You're checking the ailerons to make sure one aileron goes up, one goes down. It looks like they're working okay. And then check your elevator. Make sure that when you bring the stick back, the elevator goes up. Go ahead and bring that stick all the way. There you go.
Here we go.
And the elevators back there, they bolt together. So we want to make sure that they both go up. And there's 3 bolts back there. I check them on my pre-flight.
Okay.
And they're fine. And then check your rudder pedals. That's right. And then go back to the left. Something doesn't work. Now you want to figure it out.
All right.
How's that feel?
Feels
okay? Good. I is for instruments.
Now you've got your left rudder set a little bit differently.
No, the tail wheel's not straight. If I go, I'll get this thing straight. You see how it's going to the left here.
Okay.
Okay. Now the tail wheel's straight. Now the tension should be the same.
Okay.
So. See, I is for instruments. Let's look at our instrument panel.
Okay.
You're up there, I'm back here. It's pretty important that I see what you see. So I have my set of instruments back here. Your altimeter, upper left, I would like you to set your altimeter at 800 feet. Basically, that's what Kalamazoo is above sea level. So go the other way with it.
I'm at 1,000 right now. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
There's 800 feet.
800 right there.
Mine says 800. Airspeed's next in line at
Now,
0.
Now, Rob, why do you set that at 800?
Because Kalamazoo is 800 feet above sea level. You know, and you know what? It's a great question. We're leaving here and we're coming back here. We could set it at 0. But if you're going from here to like Denver, you know, you don't want to set it at 0. Then you have no point of reference on the altitude there.
Gotcha.
Airspeed is next in line, straight up at 0. That little ball, that little black ball. On your simulator, unless you have the high-end ones, which sounds like you may, it tells you how much rudder pedal pressure to use. In a simulator, you don't have any rudder pedals. So here's the thing with this, and we're going to talk about it once we get off the ground. To make turns in airplanes, not only do you have to use ailerons, but you have to use the rudder. We have 220 horsepower up in the front of us. That's a lot of power. It produces a lot of torque, so there's an invisible force always pulling the nose to the left.
Okay.
So because of that torque, you're never going to have to use any left rudder to go left.
Why does it pull to the left, Rob?
That's just the way that's a physics thing, because the propeller is turning clockwise. If the
okay.
propeller turned the other way, it would go right.
Okay.
That's why, like in World War World War I, those airplanes went left really, really good. Because you had all that gyroscopic mass spinning around up ahead of you.
So
but they did not want to go right.
So you were turn fighting, you'd want to go left.
Yes. Yeah, because it would go right around. But this airplane here, when you make a left-hand turn, you don't have to use any left rudder. But when you go to the right, you're going to have to use a little bit. That's why we're going to start doing shallow turns at first.
Otherwise, it would just kind of slip on.
Yeah, it kind of goes straight. The wings are banked, and it doesn't really want to go to the right. She needs your help.
Yep.
And those three instruments are going to be what you're going to be using today. Don't worry about the rest. This is basically your first flight lesson. I want you to learn how to or concentrate on flying it. Don't worry about the power. I'm going to take care of that for you today.
Okay.
G is gasoline. Do we have enough fuel to fly? Right above your head, next to that mirror. Look up. See that little glass tube?
Yes.
That little bobber there, about halfway.
Oh, okay.
It's moving around, so it's not
Gotcha.
stuck. That's 2 hours and 10 minutes of flight time.
All
And
right.
that's good because the airplane's fairly light. It's going to pop off the runway really quickly. It's going to perform well for you.
Okay.
Inside the cockpit on the left-hand side, there's a little red ball with the letter M. That's our mixture control. And then right ahead of that is your fuel valve, says on and off.
All right.
You want it on.
Yep. So they would they stall after they took off?
If you turn the fuel off and you had a short distance to the runway, there's enough fuel in the bowl of the carburetor to get it airborne, and it's going to quit you cold. And I know that for a fact because I've seen it happen. And it quit the guy cold. He landed and figured out what went wrong, and he's very embarrassed. And I think he had to change his pants. So, A is accessories. Don't worry about that. I have the elevator trim tab set, and R is for run up. We're going to check the engine out by the runway. So, here is our next step. Is we have to listen to the current weather here.
Do you want my
Well, yeah, you can leave your feet on the pedals, but do me a favor. It's really it's really important that your heels are on the floorboards.
Yep.
Because if you get on the top, that's where the brakes are. It'll flip upside down.
All right. And do you want me to even touch the stick?
Yeah,
right
you
now?
can hold on to the stick. That's fine. In fact, that helps me if you do that.
Altimeter 2970, visual approach in use, landing at departing, runway 35 and runway 27. Hazardous weather information for the Kalamazoo area. For more information, tune in on HiWatch, Flight Watch, or Flight Service Frequency. Notice Stearman, 135-foot crane, 1.5 miles north-northeast to the port center runway 35. 135-foot crane, 1.6 miles north-northeast to the port center runway 35. Advise on initial contact, you have information hotel.
All right, so you listen to that first before you call the tower, so they don't have to tell every single person about the current weather and what runways are being used. So I'm going to give them a call here.
Okay, quick question.
Yes.
So you don't have anything as far as the horizon goes?
Oh, we don't have any artificial horizon instrument? Absolutely not. Mr. Boeing had to make an airplane that could teach people how to fly, so we're going to use the real horizon.
All right.
So the best thing you can do today, look outside the window.
Yep.
If you look outside, you'll see it all. If you look inside, you won't.
Yeah. Now this is great. Open cockpit.
Yeah, you're going to love this.
That's awesome.
Kalamazoo ground, the Stearman 1, we're at the Air Zoo with hotel ready to taxi and request runway 27.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo ground roger, runway 27, taxi via Bravo and Foxtrot, hold short runway 35.
Bravo Foxtrot, hold short 35 at Foxtrot for Stearman 1. All right, so if you've ever seen those old World War II movies with the Mustangs and the Corsairs and the Spitfires, they taxi on out to the runway, or on your simulator, trying to taxi your simulator, you can't see ahead of it at all.
Right.
So what you have to do is these little zigzag S-turns. So you go a little bit to the left,
Ah, very good.
and then you hang your head out the right-hand side.
Sure.
Just like that.
Yep.
Now you gently go back to the right, and you hang your head out the left-hand side. The bad thing on this thing is these blue lights. You see them?
Yep.
Here in Michigan, they're high. Where I live in Florida, they're right on the ground, and they're high for snow.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is hit one of those.
All right.
That'll ruin the day. Because it will damage the propeller.
Stearman 1, cross runway 35.
Cross 35, Stearman 1. So you can kind of hear, I'm talking to the guy in the tower, and it's kind of a big deal. The FAA is big on runway incursions. So when the ground controller tells me to do something, I always read back to him so that I am certain that I'm going to do what he said, and I heard him correctly. So he actually just gave us permission to go ahead and cross the main runway here.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is pull out in front of a jet.
Yeah.
Then there's a report and the FAA and all this kind of stuff. And plus, I was up there the other day taking a tower tour. The FAA in Washington, D.C. Can listen to all these conversations directly.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Everything's recorded.
Everything's recorded.
Yep. Hey, this is great. Now, what's this program you guys have? You're just starting a program for new flyers or something?
No, you know, this airplane is not, yeah, you know what, they taught people how to fly in this airplane, but to get your license, you need artificial horizon. You need an airplane that you can fly at night. You need an airplane that you can do your 3 hours of hood work.
Okay.
And to be honest, this airplane is difficult to land. So the easiest thing to do if you wanted to get your pilot's license, go to a flight school. I recommend a Cessna 172 or a 150.
Okay.
Good trainers, and then if you ever wanted to go up to the Stearman, work your way up to it. They're a lot of fun to fly. They're really super simple to fly as well, and you're going to find that out firsthand. But again, they are a little bit tricky to get them on the ground.
Okay, I thought you were talking about some type of a beta program that you were getting off the ground or something.
Oh, our flight program. Yeah, with our flight instructor. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to do the first 6 missions that you would have done as a cadet in World War II.
Oh, okay.
So here's, because
cool.
my buddy of mine, he's 93, he flew these Stearmans in World War II.
Yeah.
So what the deal is I'm going to do the takeoff, and then once we get off the ground, I'm going to have you come on the controls with me. We're going to make a climbing left-hand turn. You've done those on the simulator. The climb that we want to keep it around 75 miles an hour.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a fly over the top of the airport, do a right-hand turn, then I'm going to give her to you. So basically what I'm going to be doing here, Jerry, for the next half an hour is I'm just a big cheerleader. The airplane will teach you how to fly it, not me.
What's the stall speed, Rob?
You know what? We don't care about that.
Okay.
And that sounds strange, I know. But the idea is we want you to learn how to fly this airplane by sound and by feel.
All right.
And if you're staring at an airspeed indicator, that goes against what we're trying to teach. So our oil temperature is above 30. That's looking good. Looks like there might be a couple of showers out to the west. Let me check our engine here. Everything's looking good. You ready?
Ready. You bet.
All right, I'm excited. We're going to have fun. You see where the main runway is that we crossed? We're going to be off the ground before we get there.
Okay, yeah.
Let me give the tower a call, let them know that we're ready to go. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're ready to go. Runway 27 to Foxtrot.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo ground. Correction, Kalamazoo Tower. Proceed on course, runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, left on course for Stearman 1. All right, so here's the first thing. Interesting enough, you can't see anything over the nose of this thing.
3335, Kalamazoo ground, runway 35.
So we talked about the glasses. If you wear goggles, it limits your peripheral vision, and that's what we're relying on to get this thing off the ground. The wind is right on our nose, and so it's going to get off the ground really quick.
Okay.
All right.
Plus you got a biplane.
With all this lift. So what we're doing right now, I'm looking straight ahead. I can see that I'm just about in the middle of the runway.
Yep.
I'm going to gently bring the power up forward here. We leave the stick in neutral. Here comes the power. That's full power right there. Now the tail's coming off the ground. Guess what? She's ready to fly right now. And away we go. And we're airborne.
Nice.
So I could teach you that in a day. That's pretty simple. Jerry, go ahead and put your feet on those pedals. Heels on the floorboards. Grab that stick with your, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right hand. Grab it with your right hand. Perfect. We'll just keep the wings level as we head on out. Now, if you look at your airspeed indicator, we're going about, what, 80 or so?
Right.
And she likes to climb at about 75 to 80.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
So if Mother Nature throws a bump your way, just have to sometimes just help it out and get it back to level flight. Let's try a left-hand turn. So what I want you to do is just gently ease the stick to the left. She's going to roll to the left. You get the angle of bank that you want. Bring the stick back to neutral. Great. Now look at that little black ball. See how that on the instrument panel? See how the ball's in the middle? Just more or less. You don't have to use any left rudder at all because the torque of the engine is doing the rudder work for you.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. Good. We're going to make a left downwind departure. The tower wants us on the east side of the runway. So we're going to head out this way. Beautiful. Go ahead and roll the wings back to level here. Good, and stick to neutral. Very nice. Now, just climb, keep on climbing this direction. Right now we're 400 feet above the ground. We're only going to go to about 1,000 today. Once we cross this main runway, we'll make a right-hand turn.
Okay. So your rudder indicator that based on the pitch of the plane
Not really.
or based upon the roll?
It's based on the roll. We're going to actually do a little exercise here. Let's go ahead and make a right-hand turn. Okay, that's fine. Stick to neutral. Now look at that little black ball. The nose is pulled to the left, so the centrifugal force pushes that ball to the right. So add some right rudder pedal pressure until the ball comes back in the middle. And then you look right back outside. Don't let it get too steep. There you go. So you can see it doesn't take a lot of right rudder. Good. Now, Jerry, if you look at me in the mirror on the upper wing, you got it, okay?
All right.
Now, what's nice about Kalamazoo area is these roads that we have down here, they're all laid out in north, south, east, west fashion.
Right.
We call them section lines. This is well, I forgot the name of this road. It didn't matter. Let's make a left-hand turn. Follow this road. Keep on climbing. We're going to go up another couple hundred feet here.
On this road here.
Yeah, to your left. Just keep the turn going. Now, here's something that you maybe have never heard, or maybe you have on your sim. But the steeper your angle of bank, the more lift the airplane will lose. And so in a turn, you have to bring the nose up a little bit. Good. Let's make a right-hand turn. Right now we're heading to the east. Let's go back. Let's go to the south. Remember, add a little right rudder, and then bring the nose up. There you go. And then we'll roll the wings to level. Now, it's impossible to know how steep of your angle of bank is, but we can guess. If you look straight ahead, we have the horizon. That's level. You see those wires right ahead of you?
Yeah.
Come out of the airplane? Those are 45 degrees.
Okay.
All right, let's make a left-hand turn. I want a 20-degree angle of bank. Not too steep. Bring the nose up. Keep on climbing. We have another 400 feet to go. Remember, on the left-hand turn, you don't need any left rudder. Bring the nose up a little bit more. There you go. And we're looking at back on our section lines right there, east and west. Perfect. Nice job. Let's try another right-hand turn. Same thing. Add a little right rudder on this one. There you go. Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome.
And we're coming up on, so we're at 800 feet above the ground, or 1,600 feet. Let's make a left-hand turn. Let's go back to the north. Keep on climbing. Let's go up another 200 feet. So basically, this road right here is north and south. This is east. Just keep it going left until we're heading to the north. Good. Yeah, see, we got you looking outside the plane. That's how you fly this airplane right here. If you stare at instruments, you're basically in the wrong plane. You should be in a Cirrus or something that has like 30 things to look at. Great. All right, let's start our lesson. Right now you're heading to the north. What I'd like you to do is we're going to increase your angle of bank a little bit to 30 degrees. So it's a little bit steeper than what you just did. So let's do a 180-degree turn to your left, 30-degree angle of bank.
Wow, okay.
That's 10, 20, that's 30. Hold it right there. These are basically called clearing turns. Good. We're looking down below. We want to do a 180. That's 90 degrees there. That's 180 degrees there. Very nice. Let's try one of those to your right. Remember, 30 degrees. 180 to your right. Add a little right rudder on this one.
Ready?
Yep. 10, 20, 30. Good. Stick to neutral. We're looking over the side. Just release a little bit of that back pressure. I think you're climbing a little bit. There you are, right around in here someplace. Good. 90 degrees is there. There's that road right down below. 180 is here. How you feeling? Feeling good?
Oh, real good.
Good.
That's great.
All right, I'm going to push you now, okay? Because you're getting the hang of how to turn this thing. Focus in again on those wires right ahead of you, okay? Again, they're 45 degrees. We're going to take all the guesswork out of this And what I like you to do is a 45-degree angle of bank turn to your left. Put that left wire parallel to the horizon and a little bit above the horizon, and that'll be a level turn in the sky.
All right.
Whenever you're ready, let's try one to your left. Parallel and about 3 to 4 inches above the horizon. That's what we're looking for.
Here we go.
There you go. Hold it right there. Perfect. Now, to get your private pilot's license in this day and age, this is one of the maneuvers you have to do right here. 45-degree angle of bank. They will FAA want, keep going on 360. Keep it going to your left.
360.
Yep, 360 left. And then we're going to do a 360 right. The FAA allows you to go up or down 100 feet. So what we're really trying to do is to make a level turn in the sky, and that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, got it.
Good. That's 270 degrees. That's road right down below you is what we're looking at. 360s here. Good. Let's try one of those to the right.
Let me level out here.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep, we're clear. There you go. 45 degrees.
Convoy 3335, contact.
90 degrees is there. 180 degrees is there. 270 degrees is there. 360 degrees is here. We'll roll the wings back to level and check your altimeter. You started off at about 1,820 feet. And so we're within that 100-foot parameter. So if you would have done that for the FAA, that would have passed.
All right.
That's how easy flying is. All right, cool. So you learn how to turn the airplane. The whole rudder thing is not a big deal. So what we want to try and do next is combine turning left and right with going up and down at the same time. And what it's called is a lazy 8. And so it's neat because earlier you asked me what it stalls at. What I want the airplane to teach you today is how to fly it by sound and by feel. So what we'll do is I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do one of these to the left. So here's how you do this. Just stay with me.
All right.
Shallow angle of bank turn to your left. Right there. You don't want any steeper than that. Bring the nose up. Now, other than adjusting for any turbulence, now listen to the airplane. You can hear the engine chugging as it goes uphill. It's hard to hear the whistle of the wind and the wires diminish, but you can really hear it speed up. Now listen to it. There's 70, 80, 85, there's 90, 95, there's 100. We roll the wings back to level, and you're going the other direction. Did you hear the airplane slow down and speed up?
I did.
Good. That's what I want the airplane to teach you, because you have to learn how to fly it by sound. Because in the pattern to land, when you learn how to land this stuff, that's critical. Did you like that?
I did.
Okay, airplane is yours. Now I'll walk you through this. So shallow turn to your left, 10 degrees, good. Stick to neutral, bring the nose up. Up some more. Hold it right there. Beautiful. Look over your left shoulder. They call these lazy for a reason. Look how slow that is over the top. Awesome. Now listen to it. There's 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 80, 85. Roll it out and out. Good. Great job.
Nice.
Well, fun. Those are great. I love doing those. All right, let's try one of those to the right. The same deal, but of course you're going to have to use some right rudder pedal pressure with it over the top. There's no one around you, so let's try one to your right. Shallow angle of the bank. Bring that nose up. Up some. There you go. Hold that stick right there. Now right here, start feeding it some right rudder. Good. Look over your right shoulder.
That's nice.
Downhill you fly. Start rolling it to your left. Bring that nose on up. There's 80, 85, there's 90.
Oh.
Very good.
Farther.
Now, we lost a little bit of altitude on those. Let's go back up a little higher. So what you've done is you've done one to the left, then we stopped. We talked about what we wanted to do next, then we did one to the right, and now we're here to this point. What I want you to do next, once we get up a little higher, is we're going to combine those two maneuvers. We'll go to the right first because we don't want to let the wind blow us too far from the airport. One to the right, followed by one to the left. No stopping in between the two.
All right.
I'll tell you the secret. Don't think about the whole thing. Give me the best that you got for the right. Think about going to your right, and then we'll worry about going left later. Let's go up a little higher. We're about 700 feet above the ground. you go. Good. All right, there's no one around us. Let's try a lazy 8 to the right whenever you're ready.
So we're going to do 180 and
No,
then
we're fine.
reverse.
Yeah, we'll do it. Basically, it's a 180 to the right and then to the left with some pitch. Good.
All right.
Bring the nose up. There you go. Hold it right there. Perfect. Add that right rudder here. Beautiful. Just like you're at an air show. Let it come down. Listen to it. There's 80, 85, 90. Start rolling it left. Now do the same thing to your left. Same thing. Shallow angle of bank. Up you go. Good. Perfect. And you can feel as the airplane gets slower, you can feel the controls get sluggish. Good. Beautiful. Downhill you fly. We'll roll it on out. Put on the air show for all these people down below. Lazy 8 all by yourself.
Nice.
So what do you think? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Better, better, worse, easier, harder?
I think it's a little bit easier than I thought. I don't know how much you're controlling back there.
Nothing. I mean, if you want, I'll fly the rest of it. I'm not touching the stick. You're doing, after the first 2 turns, I let go of it.
Wow.
Seriously, I'm not doing anything.
Really?
Yeah. Let's make a right-hand turn. We'll go back up a little higher. 180-degree turn to your right.
All right.
And we'll go back up to about 1,700 feet. Now keep this in mind, back in World War II, you would have been expected to solo this airplane in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction.
Wow.
If you couldn't do that, they gave you 2 more hours of training. If you still could not solo the airplane, they kicked you out.
Now, how much flight time would you have before you actually went in?
To start flying these?
Well, went into battle, I guess.
Oh, 350 hours to 400.
Okay.
Which I'm going to tell you right now, it's not much.
Yeah.
Now let's go up a little higher. It was 65 hours in this, and then you go into an airplane called a BT-13. You fly that for, again, 100 hours night flight, formation, and instrument training in the BT. From there, the Texan, you've heard of those, SNJs, Navy called them that, and then from there, the fighter.
Okay.
So, kind of crazy thing. All right, let's make one more left-hand turn. We'll head back to the west. I got one. This is kind of fun for you. This is where this is the. We'll put everything. It'll kind of make sense. We'll roll the wings to level here.
Right now?
Yeah. Now we're going to do a stall. Now, when I say stall to people, they're like, I don't think I want to do that. It's extremely docile with this airplane. The idea behind it is listen to the airplane, know what it sounds like when it goes fast, know what it sounds like when it goes slow. And if you ever inadvertently stall the airplane, you want to know what to expect. So what I'd like you to do is just keep the wings level for me, okay?
All right.
I'm going to gently bring the power back. Not to idle. We'll keep the engine running up there. But just get rid of the engine sound. It's loud. There you go. Cool. Now, gently put it into a dive. There you go. Tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires.
I can hear the whistle.
You're going about 90 miles an hour. Good. Bring it back to level flight. Now listen to it. Do you hear it slowing down?
I do.
Good. Bring the nose up some more. Now we're going up an imaginary hill. She's going to slow down quicker. Bring the nose up. Up, up, up. There you go. Don't look at that airspeed indicator. That's cheating.
No, I'm not.
Good. Bring the nose up. Get pretty quiet, huh? Come on back some more. Trust me. It's going to be nice. It'll be kind of fun, actually.
Cool.
All right. Here's your stall right here.
Yeah, she's not doing it anymore.
No. Now listen
Wow,
to it. Listen to it. That's it. Now it speeds up. Watch what the nose does.
Yep.
On its own.
Wow.
Goes right back.
look at that.
So we just gently bring the power back in, and away she goes.
Whoa. She
Isn't
came
that
right
fun?
Up, she came right up by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because of the lift with the biplane?
What happens is, as the nose falls, we go obviously downhill. Physics, right?
Right.
When we go downhill, what happens to the airplane? It speeds up, right?
Get more lift.
Gets some more lift,
Yep.
and it brings the nose back up on its own. That's how you fly a plane. That's up, down, left, right, fast and slow.
Very nice. So there is literally no concern on stall speed unless you're landing.
Exactly. You ask me what the speed of it is, listen to it. You know when it's going to stall. It gets quiet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm watching you right now fly an airplane. You're looking all over the place, right? That means you're comfortable in it.
Yeah,
And that was what we wanted to accomplish, is do the flight and get you comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, we have about, wow, we got a lot of time. We got about another 8 minutes to go. before we have to head back towards Kalamazoo. This is your opportunity to have some fun. So if you want to do some more lazy 8s, I would recommend going up a little higher. If you want to do some more turns, we can do that. If you want to try different stalls, we can do a power on stall, power off stall. Or if you just want to fly it around.
Okay.
But now you can see how it was possible to fly, have these kids fly this airplane for 10 hours and solo it.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, you already know how to fly. It's just a matter of learning how to land the thing.
Yeah, the whole thing though, I mean, even with the online game, every time rookies came in, they got creamed and they ended up leaving before they ever learned how to fly.
Right.
I can't imagine taking one of these into combat against people that have got a few thousand hours and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
Well, you know, that the majority of those guys were going to die, obviously the pilots, and what you wanted to be was you wanted to be a bomber pilot, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Because the fighter pilots, those guys were expendable. They would send those guys into battle, and there was, you know, a lot of them were going to get shot up. The bomber guys, it was, you know, that was the mission. It was to get the bombs there and get them and get the bombers back. Let's try. This is high enough. This is good. Let's try. We're down here. I think this is called Eagle Lake. I think.
Okay.
I think. Let's try another. Right now we're at 1,500 feet, more or less, 1,600. Let's try another 360 to your left. Let's see if we can stay at this altitude. Let's try it. So put that wire parallel and about 4 inches above the horizon. There you go. Perfect. Looks like it's raining to the southeast there.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Keep it right there. That'll do it. That's marvelous. That's 180. You can use this road right here. When we're perpendicular to this road,
Yeah.
we'll roll it on out. We'll go the other direction. Good. Perfect. Let's try one to your right. Great job with the rudder. And again, if you're looking at the mirror, I'm not touching the thing, just so you know. I get to go for a Stearman ride today. Good. And we're looking at those section lines. That's a 180 there.
Oh, that's nice.
Usually when it gets overcast like this, it's smoother. We found some nice smooth air. There's clouds above us. Very nice. Now we'll roll on out. You can check your altimeter. Again, that's right where you left, where you started. Super. Good, dude. Do you like? Did you like those lazy 8s?
I do.
Let's try another one. We're over the lake now, so there's nothing below us. Let's try one left or right, your choice. There you go. See, the more of these you do, the better you become. You get, hold it right there. You get really comfortable, and look how steep you are. Very nice. And there's really no jeopardy in these at all. We'll try one to your right. Because if you get it slow over the top and it stalls, guess what the nose is going to do?
Right.
Drop through, which is what we want it to do anyway. Little right rudder here.
Oh.
There you go.
All right. Yeah.
That's maybe 2 G's, I think.
All right.
Super job. 180-degree turn to your left. Or, yeah, we'll go back to the north. Now, I'm going to, because you have a lot of interest in flying, you're flying the airplane really well. Let me ask you this. How did you think about the stall? Were you okay with the stall?
Oh, I was great with the stall, yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point, I'm going to introduce you to the throttle. So put your hand on the throttle. Just kind of rest your hand on the throttle quadrant. That's a really natural place for it to be.
Is it the black or the red?
It's the black. The red is the mixture. So what we'll do is let's see what the airplane would do at a safe altitude if we took off and we climbed up too steeply. Okay? That's called a power on stall. So keep the wings level. Just bring the nose up a little bit. All right? We just simulated that we just took off. Bring the nose up some more. Good. Bring the nose up some more. Look out on the wingtips. Look how steep you are. Bring the nose up some more. Hold it right here now. Hold the stick right where it's at. Now, what you wouldn't really want to do is let it do this right above the ground, because the airplane is sinking now, and the ground's coming up, and then you'd have a tendency to yank the stick back, and then it would go into a secondary stall, and then that one is the one that makes you hit the ground real hard.
That's going to nose.
Yeah, that's going to leave a mark. The first one, if you know, it's not a big deal if you were to, you don't want to do it, but if you did, it's not a big deal.
Yep.
Let's see what she does on a power off stall, because when we land, we're going to have to do the same thing. So with your left hand on the throttle, just gently bring the power back towards me.
How far back?
All the way. Just real slow. There you go. Keep the wings level. Come on back some more. All the way back. All the way. All the way. All right. This is what it's going to sound like when we land. So start bringing the nose up. Come on back. Come on back. You're going to really hear it. Now come on back on the stick. Come on back. 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 Here's your power. And it's going to break a little bit more than it did before. And look what you got. If we wanted to land right ahead of us, we could.
Nice.
Corn. And we gently bring the power back in and off you go. So if I was going to teach you how to land this thing, I'd say, okay, we're going to go up to, I'm going to put some duct tape on your airspeed indicator, and I'm going to say, okay, let's glide at 80 miles an hour. And I don't want you knowing, being able to look at the airspeed indicator. You have to memorize the speeds based on sound. That's why I wouldn't tell you what it stalls at, because if I told you that, you'd be staring at the instrument.
Right.
Awesome.
Am I getting some wind here? Is that why she's
It's just, what this is called pilot-induced oscillation. If you let go of the stick, look what the airplane does.
Oh my. Okay.
It's just over-controlling it. This is your first flight. It's normal. Everybody does it. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Nice. Let's make a left-hand turn. You see that lake down here? That's Long Lake. I'd like you to go head on over to Long Lake.
Okay.
And we're going to
Which lake up here?
straight ahead. You got Austin Lake is the big one. The short one, or smaller one right ahead of you, a little bit off to your right, is Long Lake.
Okay.
Good. Got you broken in on your first flight.
Hey, this has been great.
So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Long Lake. Once we get there, that's where the tower wants me to go to call them so they know where I'm at. And then I'll tell them that we're inbound. Now, I'm going to have you fly the airplane to the runway. So we did those 30-degree angle of bank turns for a reason. Because in the pattern to land, that's what we're looking for. We don't want the steep turns, because the steeper your angle of bank, the higher your stall speed. And the last thing you want to do is stall this thing low to the ground. All right, let's go. I'd like you to go right to that small little inlet there. Turn the radio back on. There you go. That's good right there. The Pfizer plant is right over the nose right now. And let's go up a little higher. There you go. Good. We'll go to 1500. It's kind of interesting. Like right now, your airspeed indicator says we're going about 70-ish or so. Look over the side of the airplane. Looks like we're barely moving. So the wind is blowing right on our nose. You can see that based on looking at the lake. All right. At this altitude, you can see the Kalamazoo Airport's to your right. We're going to be landing on runway 27. That's the same runway we took off from. Let me give them a call. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1. We're over at Long Lake, turning inbound, landing 27.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, runway 27, cleared to land.
Cleared to land 27, Stearman 1. All right, there's
Stearman
no...
1, the wind to Kalamazoo, 29011, altimeter 29066.
Stearman 1. All right, let's make a right-hand turn. So the wind is 290 at 11 knots. And that runway we're going to land on is 270, so we have a 20-degree crosswind, which is not very much. There you go. Cool. So are you glad you did this?
Oh, that's been great, Rob. Yeah.
One thing's for certain, you'll never forget this. You know, it's not like going in a Cessna open cockpit. This is a World War II plane. You know, it's not a replica, it's a real deal. It's built in January of 1942.
Wow. This has been great.
Well, it's not over. We got you. We did all those maneuvers for this next thing is the pattern work. So you adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. I'm going to have you on the throttle here, but you adjust your speed by using pitch. So right now we're 800 feet above the ground. If you lower the nose a little bit, you see the runway we're going to land on? It looks like a big spaghetti junction down there, but there's 3 runways and all the taxiways and everything. If you go a little bit more to your right, yeah, keep going to your right. We're going to square this off. Let's go this way. If you go this way, you'll be able to see the runway.
Oh, gotcha.
There you go. All right, that runway that we're clear to land on is the one that's closest to it. You see it? It's east and west. Right now, we're just about going to the north.
Okay.
It says 27 on the end. See it there?
No, I don't.
Okay. Bring the power back a little bit for me. I'll tell you when to stop.
Is it going this way?
It's going from here all the way to the bowling alley. It says 27. You'll see it here in a second.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Bring the power back?
Yeah, bring the power back a little bit. That's good right there. Now, if the engine was to quit us, we probably would make the runway. Let's make a left-hand turn here. Line it up with runway 27.
Now, is that down there?
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking it was farther down. All right.
So 290, we're on 27, and we have a little bit of right to left crosswind. This is fine because guess what? The wind is going to be blowing you a little bit to your left.
Okay. Copy that.
And this, what's interesting is you can't see anything, right, over the nose of this thing right now. But if you lower the nose a little bit, that's why it's always better to be on final, a little bit on the high side, because if you drag the thing in with a lot of power, you're blind as a bat. You hear the whistle?
Yep.
We got plenty of speed. Now, when I tell you I have it, at that point, just take your feet off the pedals, okay?
Yep.
And if you want to hold on to the stick, you can. Bring the nose up a little tiny bit. All right. All right, so put your feet on the floor. Now, this is how this works. We're listening to it. I'm on the controls. Yep. Just stay with me. We're listening. We're looking straight ahead. We're listening. We're listening. It's getting pretty quiet, just like that stall that we did, and we're on the ground.
All right.
Now, this is the hard part right here, is keeping it going straight. Notice I'm moving those pedals all over the place.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll just...
Stearman 1, turn on Bravo, taxi to the museum, remain this frequency.
Left on Bravo to the air zoo with you for Stearman 1. Awesome.
Working those pedals like that, what, is that just because of the pull on the wheels or what's...
No, because this airplane is unstable on the ground because the center of gravity is behind the main wheels. So if I didn't touch anything when we landed, the airplane would have gone off the runway and done what we call a ground loop.
All right.
A nose wheel airplane, they're easier to land because the center of gravity is ahead of the 2 wheels. And so when you land the airplane, if you don't do anything, guess what it does? Goes straight.
Okay.
That's why most of the modern airplanes you see, they're nose wheel planes because they're easier to land.
Gotcha.
So these tail wheel planes, you just have to keep them going straight.
Yep.
When you get around and...
so if you were to balance it, it's nose heavy for sure, right?
No, it's not. The center of gravity of the airplane right now is about 5 inches ahead of your center of gravity.
Solo 625 Sierra Charlie, come to ground.
It's just a physics thing, to be honest with you. If you take a child's tricycle, put the big wheel in the front, push it, it's going to go straight. Take that same tricycle, flip it around, put the big wheel in the back, and it's going to go make circles.
Okay.
And that's what this airplane wants to do. Any airplane, you know, you say, hey, Stearman, how do you want to go down the runway? And the Stearman would say, well, I prefer to go down it backwards.
Yeah.
If we can do that. I'm like, no, we can't do that.
92, Chicago Heights, direct.
Hey, more clients.
Yeah, we're going to go fly the new standard.
That looks like something fun to do. With
Oh, that's
people,
cool. These
friends.
people came all over from Chicago today to do that because it's very rare.
Yeah. I hope your business is doing good.
Well, we've been doing this now 15 years, and it's kind of fun. The new standard, I just fly it, and I don't talk to anybody. And then somebody like yourself who comes and flies this airplane, it's neat because you have an interest in this. And
yeah, this has been great.
so I'm going to swing this rascal around. And this is kind of what it wants to do, but a lot faster.
Ah, yeah.
That's why we don't want to let it do that.
Yeah, that'd be a little vicious on the runway.
Yes. We'll bring the power on up, and that completes your mission. Super.
All right. Great job, Rob.